What jobs will still exist in 10 years? The question of which jobs will survive the next decade isn't just about technology, it's about understanding what makes humans irreplaceable. As we stand in late 2025, artificial intelligence has already transformed how we work, yet certain professions remain not only secure, but increasingly vital. The jobs that will thrive aren't necessarily those requiring the most education or paying the highest salaries today. Instead, they share common threads. They require human judgment in high-stakes situations, demand physical presence and dexterity, involve complex human relationships, or exist in regulatory frameworks that resist automation. Healthcare. The human touch remains essential. Healthcare workers will not only survive the next decade, they'll be in greater demand than ever. While AI can now read X-rays with remarkable accuracy, and chatbots can triage symptoms, the core of healthcare remains profoundly human. Nurses, doctors, physical therapists, and home health aides perform work that resists automation, not because the technology couldn't theoretically replace some functions, but because patients need human connection during vulnerable moments. Consider the nurse who notices a patient's anxiety before a procedure and takes 5 minutes to explain what will happen. Or the physical therapist who adjusts their approach mid-session based on subtle cues about pain tolerance. These professionals combine technical knowledge with emotional intelligence and physical skill in ways that remain economically impractical to automate fully. The aging global population ensures healthcare demand will surge. In the United States alone, the number of people over 65 is projected to reach 85 million by 2035. This demographic shift creates insatiable demand for geriatric specialists, home health aides, and elder care workers. These roles involve not just medical tasks but companionship, dignity preservation, and family communication, deeply human work that AI assists but cannot replace. Mental health professionals face similar job security. Therapists, counselors, and psychiatrists work in the realm of human emotion, trauma, and behavioral change. While mental health apps and AI chatbots provide valuable support for mild conditions, the complexity of treating serious mental illness, conducting psychotherapy, and managing crisis situations requires human practitioners. The pandemic's lasting impact on mental health has only increased demand for these professionals. Skilled trades like electricians, plumbers, HVAC technicians, and construction workers have really solid job security because, they work with the unpredictable physical world. Every building is different, and every repair situation is unique. Like, an electrician rewiring an old house is always running into unexpected problems that need improvisation, spatial reasoning, and, some creative problem solving. Robots might do great in controlled factory environments, but they really struggle with the variability of real-world construction and repair work. These trades also benefit from strong economic fundamentals. The infrastructure of modern society, buildings, utilities, roads, needs constant maintenance and upgrading. And with the push toward renewable energy, there's new demand for solar panel installers and wind turbine technicians. Plus, renovating aging buildings to improve energy efficiency is going to ensure decades of work for skilled tradespeople. The economics of automating these jobs also works in workers' favor. Developing a robot that can actually navigate a cluttered basement, diagnose a plumbing problem, and then implement a creative solution would cost millions in development for each specific task. Meanwhile, training a human plumber just takes a few years of apprenticeship. So, the return on investment for automation just isn't there for most skilled trades. Teachers are going to remain essential, even though their role keeps evolving. The pandemic really proved that education is so much more than just content delivery, something AI and recorded lectures can handle. Teachers manage classroom dynamics, spot students who are struggling, adapt lessons in real time, and provide the motivation and accountability that young learners absolutely need. Elementary school teachers are especially secure, since young kids need in-person supervision, socialization, and the development of foundational skills that, honestly, only come from human interaction. The teacher who helps a 6-year-old learn to read isn't just teaching phonics. They're actually building confidence, teaching persistence, and modeling emotional regulation. Special education teachers and instructional aides work with students who have all kinds of diverse learning needs, and that requires individualized attention, patience, and a lot of creative problem solving. These professionals need to understand not just pedagogy, but also child psychology, behavioral management, and how to communicate effectively with families and other professionals. Higher education might face more disruption, but professors who do original research, mentor graduate students, and teach complex subjects that need discussion and debate are still really valuable. The purely lecture-based professor might struggle, but those who facilitate learning, guide research, and prepare students for professional careers are going to thrive. The rise of AI image generators and writing tools has sparked a lot of anxiety in creative fields, but honestly, human creative professionals will keep their jobs for a crucial reason. Clients want a human perspective, not just technically correct output. A graphic designer isn't just arranging pixels, they're interpreting a client's often vague vision, understanding brand identity, and making judgment calls about what's actually going to resonate with specific audiences. Creative directors, art directors, and senior designers spend a lot of their time in consultation, revision, and strategic thinking. They attend meetings, interpret feedback, and, navigate the politics of stakeholder management. AI can generate design variations, but it just can't sit in a conference room and pick up on those subtle dynamics. Like, knowing the CEO hates the color blue because it reminds him of a failed campaign from years ago. Writers, especially those covering complex beats like investigative journalism, technical writing, and narrative nonfiction, have skills that AI just can't easily replicate. The journalist who spends months cultivating sources, the technical writer who interviews engineers to document complex systems, the author who crafts a compelling narrative from historical research, these professionals bring judgment, persistence, and that very human curiosity to their work. Film directors, cinematographers, and editors will keep working because visual storytelling is, at its core, a deeply human art. While AI can generate images, the choices that make a film truly compelling, pacing, performance direction, emotional beats, those still require human artistic judgment. Legal and financial services really come down to high-stakes judgment. Lawyers will remain employed because, honestly, legal work ultimately involves human judgment in those situations where a lot is on the line. Sure, AI can review documents and research case law way faster than people. But when it comes to courtroom lawyers, negotiators, and legal strategists, they provide irreplaceable value. The trial attorney reading a jury, the mediator finding creative solutions to disputes, the business lawyer advising a CEO on regulatory risk. These roles all require human psychology, persuasion, and a real sense of contextual understanding. Financial advisors who provide comprehensive wealth management have pretty strong job security too. Even though robo-advisors can manage basic investment portfolios, high net worth individuals want human advisors who really get their entire financial picture, family dynamics, estate planning goals, and can offer emotional support when markets get volatile. The advisor isn't just picking investments, they're a trusted counselor, helping clients make some of the biggest decisions in their lives. And accountants, especially CPAs working with businesses and high net worth individuals, continue to thrive. Tax planning for complex situations? That takes deep expertise and judgment. The accountant advising a small business owner on entity structure, tax strategy, and financial planning is providing value that AI just can't easily replicate. Audit and forensic accounting are similar stories. They require human judgment and professional accountability. Management and leadership are all about organizing human systems. Managers and executives will remain essential because, at their core, organizations are fundamentally human systems. The operations manager, for example, doesn't just optimize processes. They motivate teams, resolve conflicts, communicate vision, and make judgment calls that balance competing priorities. Sure, AI can provide plenty of data and analytics, but deciding whether to prioritize speed or quality, how to handle an underperforming employee, or when to take calculated risks, well, that really requires human leadership. Project managers coordinate these complex initiatives involving multiple stakeholders with, sometimes competing interests. They read meeting dynamics, know when to push and when to negotiate, and build relationships that actually make projects successful. The soft skills of project management, communication, stakeholder management, and problem solving, those remain distinctly human. Human resources professionals work in the deeply human realm of organizational culture, conflict resolution, and talent development. While AI can screen resumes, the HR business partner coaching a manager through a difficult termination, investigating a harassment complaint, or designing a culture change initiative brings irreplaceable human judgment to the table. Emergency services like firefighters, police officers, and paramedics work in unpredictable, high-stakes situations that require split-second decisions and, honestly, a lot of physical courage. These jobs really combine technical skill with judgment, physical capability, and the acceptance of personal risk. While drones and robots might assist emergency responders, humans will definitely remain on the front lines because these situations need adaptability and moral judgment that machines just can't provide. The firefighter entering a burning building makes constant judgment calls about structural safety, rescue priorities, and resource allocation. The paramedic treating a trauma victim out in the field must diagnose and treat based on, sometimes, really limited information, all while managing the emotional chaos of the scene. And the police officer responding to a mental health crisis has to de-escalate a volatile situation using communication skills and, most importantly, human empathy. Personal services, like hairstylists, barbers, massage therapists, and personal trainers, offer excellent job security because their work is, at its heart, relational. People don't just want a haircut, they want the social interaction, the relationship with a stylist who knows their preferences, the trust that's built over multiple appointments. The hairstylist isn't just cutting hair, they're providing conversation, emotional support, and that personalized attention clients really value. Personal trainers combine exercise knowledge with motivation, accountability, and relationship building. While fitness apps might provide workout plans, many people need that human connection, the scheduled appointment they won't skip, and the trainer who adjusts their approach based on your energy level and mood that day. The jobs that are going to survive the next decade all share some common characteristics. They require human judgment in complex situations, involve physical work in unpredictable environments, demand emotional intelligence and relationship building, or exist in sectors where the human touch is still culturally expected. Technology will, without a doubt, transform how these professionals work, serving as a powerful tool that augments, rather than replaces, human capability. The workers most at risk are those performing routine, predictable tasks in controlled environments, whether those tasks are physical or cognitive. The workers most secure are those whose roles inherently involve the messy complexity of human life. Our bodies, our emotions, our relationships, and, honestly, our need for meaning and connection. As we look toward 2035, the future of work isn't about humans versus machines. It's about really understanding what makes human contribution irreplaceable and making sure workers develop skills that technology complements rather than supplants.